The restaurant's low amber lights made everything look softer than it was. The clinking of cutlery, the murmur of laughter, the faint jazz drifting from somewhere near the bar. It all should have made the night feel pleasant. But from the moment we sat down with her parents, I could sense the chill in Claire's tone. Every time she smiled at me, it was the kind of smile you give a stranger you're forced to sit beside on a long flight. Polite, detached, empty. Her father, Richard, had always been cordial, but tonight even he seemed unusually watchful. Her mother, and kept asking questions that felt less like curiosity and more like tests. "So, Ryan, still doing the same job? You must be very busy. Claire tells us you're hardly home." I brushed it off, smiling, keeping my posture relaxed. I'd learned to play the part. The agreeable husband, the composed man who doesn't let tension show. Halfway through the main course, Claire was scrolling through her phone while pretending to listen. The dim light reflected off her screen, painting a faint glow on her face. A face I once thought I knew better than my own reflection. Then it happened, and had just complimented the waiter on the wine when Claire put her phone down, sighed, and said, almost to herself but loud enough for everyone to hear, "Sometimes, I regret listening to my heart and choosing him." The table froze. For a second, no one breathed. The sound of laughter from the next table felt a mile away. My fork hovered halfway to my mouth, hand stiff, pulse steady. Too steady. Her mother's lips parted slightly. Her father frowned. Claire didn't even look at me. Her eyes were fixed on the wine glass, swirling it slowly, like she hadn't just detonated something between us, and cleared her throat. "Claire," she said quietly, "that's not a very nice thing to say." Claire laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. "Oh, come on, Mom. You've said it yourself before. Love isn't everything." Maybe I should have listened. I placed my fork down gently. "I didn't realize," I said, "that dinner was going to turn into an evaluation of your life choices." She looked up then, her expression calm, almost clinical. "I'm just being honest, Ryan. Isn't that what you always say we should be?" I nodded slowly. "Honest? Sure." The silence that followed was suffocating. Even the waiter, approaching with a tray, took one look at us and veered away. I glanced at Richard, his jaw tight, his eyes flicking between us, wanting to intervene but unsure how. In that stillness, something inside me settled. Not rage, not even pain, just a strange, hollow acceptance. I thought of all the nights I'd sat beside her while she scrolled through her phone instead of talking to me. The weekends she said she needed space. The sudden coldness that had crept into her texts. I had convinced myself marriage was about phases, that maybe this was just one of them. But this was different. "Excuse me," I said finally, standing up. My chair scraped softly against the floor. Claire glanced up, startled now. "Where are you going?" she asked, voice smaller than before. I smiled faintly. "You regret listening to your heart, remember? Maybe it's time I stop ignoring my mind." Her father started to say something. "Ryan, maybe sit down, we can." But I just shook my head. As I walked past the tables, I caught the faint reflection of us in a mirror. Her sitting there, rigid, lips slightly parted. Me walking away, shoulders straight, not looking back. For once, I didn't feel weak. Outside, the night air was cold, the kind that cuts straight through fabric. I pulled out my phone, checked the time. 8:47 p.m. My car was parked 2 blocks away. I started walking, my steps echoing against the empty street. Halfway to the car, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Just 5 words. "You deserved better than her." I stopped walking. My breath fogged in the night air as I stared at the screen. No name, no context, just that message. Something told me this night wasn't over yet. I stood there for a long moment, the message glowing on my screen like a strange kind of comfort. At first, I thought it was a prank, some spam, maybe, but the timing was too precise, too deliberate. I typed back, "Who is this?" The dots appeared instantly. Whoever it was, they were waiting. Someone who knows what she's been doing. I felt the air leave my lungs. I leaned against the side of my car, reading the words again and again. The city lights blurred behind me, but my thoughts were suddenly crystal clear. Claire's late nights, her distant tone, the perfume that wasn't hers, the way she guarded her phone like it contained state secrets. Every dismissed suspicion replayed in sharp, vivid fragments. I typed again. "What do you mean?" The reply came seconds later. "Check her gallery. 3 days ago. The lake house." I froze. The lake house. Her friend Megan's family place. The one Claire swore she went to alone for a mental reset. I remembered offering to drive her there and her tight smile when she refused. I sat in my car, heart pounding, opened my message thread with her, and scrolled. Just above a photo she'd sent of a sunset, something caught my eye. A reflection in the window behind her. A man's shoulder, barely visible, but there. That was enough. I started the car, but I didn't drive home. I drove toward the lake. The road out of the city was empty, the kind of dark that seems to stretch forever. Halfway there, I almost turned back. But then I remembered her face at dinner. The way she'd said those words, calm, deliberate, like I was some regret she'd grown tired of carrying. It took an hour to reach the cabin. Her car was parked outside. No lights inside, but I could see movement through the blinds. 2 shadows. I didn't go in. I didn't knock. I just stood there, letting the cold wind press against me until the ache in my chest dulled. After a few minutes, I got back in the car and drove away. By the time I reached home, the anger was gone. What remained was something heavier. Not rage, not sorrow. Something quieter, more resolute. I packed a single suitcase. Work clothes, essentials, my passport. I took the photo of us from the mantel, stared at it once, then placed it face down on the table. By morning, she'd called 7 times. No messages, no explanations, just calls. When she finally texted, it was one line. "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. Instead, I sent her a photo, the same one from her gallery, zoomed in on the reflection behind her. Then I turned off my phone. 3 days later, I was in Denver, starting work on a new branch project. A fresh team, a new apartment, a city that didn't hold the echo of her voice. Weeks passed before I heard from her again. This time it was an email. Subject line, "I'm sorry." I opened it. One paragraph. "I was lost, Ryan. I thought I wanted something different. You didn't deserve how I treated you. I see that now. I regret everything." I read it twice. The irony wasn't lost on me. The same woman who once said she regretted choosing me now regretted losing me. I didn't respond. Some apologies come too late, not because forgiveness isn't possible, but because the person they're meant for doesn't live in that version of the past anymore. A month later, I was sitting at a cafe near my new office when the waitress brought over my drink with a folded napkin tucked underneath. In neat handwriting, it said, "Sometimes heartbreak is the only honest conversation love ever has with us." No name, no number, but I smiled for the first time in months. I folded the napkin, slipped it into my wallet, and looked out the window. The city moved on. People laughing, cars honking, sunlight breaking between buildings. And somewhere in that chaos, I realized something simple. She had broken me in every way she could. But walking away, standing up that night and not looking back, that was the first time I'd ever truly chosen myself.